Well, hey, appreciate everybody being out. What an awesome opportunity today to kind of get in front of the fans, let them see practice. Really give them an insight to what we've been doing the last 14 days. It was a lot of fun. Had a lot of great activities out there. Guys were having fun with it, flying around. It was just awesome to get the Sooner faithful out there and get to show them what all we've been working on. So with that, taking questions.
Ben, what was when you lost Giovanni last week, what was the attitude of the receivers moving forward, and how did they progress? What did you think of your wide receiver for this spring?
Whenever you lose someone like Giovanni, not only is he a great player, he's an unbelievable teammate that everyone on the team likes. And so the best thing was that Giovanni hit them all up and said, hey, just a minor setback, major comeback incoming, right? And so he just boosted the spirits right there with him being the type of kid he is. But it was a opportunity for some guys really have to kind of grow up a little bit faster and step up a little bit faster, and it's awesome for their development. And that was just their mindset, like, okay, hey, this is an opportunity for us to go out there, get better, and really show everyone what all we can do. And so it Giovanni, being the kid that he is, ultimately turned into a positive just by his attitude. And so receivers fed off it, and it was good energy just because of Giovanni.
And what's it been like just installing your offense in the process of that, and how quickly have guys been able to pick it up?
These guys have eaten it up since day one. I knew it would be that way whenever I got here. I knew these kids would be hungry to learn and hungry to get better and hungry to get on the same page. And these guys have gone really, really well with it. Before spring ball, the installations we did and meetings and some walkthroughs and some OTAs really came to light in spring ball. And everything that they learned there was able to transition directly to spring ball that allowed us to progress at even a faster pace than kind of I anticipated. And so, now with a lot of the offense in and everything, it's just getting better, refining those little details on every single play and the installation of it. The big part was all the quarterbacks. I mean, they knew it before we started spring ball, and that was the biggest thing because they could go out there and they could help everybody out, help all the receivers, tight ends, running backs out with where they're supposed to go, get the protection calls in for the offensive line. It was really, really good. It's been a fun spring install. Probably move a little bit faster than I anticipated. I like to be a little aggressive with it.
Ben, every time we've been out there 4 or 5 times, you show a lot of energy, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, how important was it to you to kind of bring that urgency to these guys, and how do you feel like you've been able to kind of affect this team with that energy?
Yeah, I think the big thing with it all is that energy is if I expect those players to be out there flying around and be urgent and highly detailed, I better be that same way too, and I better bring it to the nth degree. Okay, because those players are going to know that Coach Arbuckle loves football, maybe even more than them, and he loves being out there at practice because he knows that's where the real the mesh, the chemistry of the team happens. And so I'm going to bring it every day at practice, and those kids they feed off it and they bring it too, and it's a lot of fun.
Coach, how has John helped you teach this offense?
you know, John being in the system for 2 years was, I think a good deal for him because a lot of it isn't just having to teach him anymore. But the thing, like I said before spring ball, all the quarterbacks knew what was going on, right? And because they're all smart, highly intelligent kids who who understand what it's like to lead, and not just John, but all of them, Mike, Cole, and Jet. They were able to get everybody on the same page at a really high level and really quick. And so just those four guys all being bought in and the type of kids they are made life a lot easier.
Can you describe kind of your history with John Kusiewski, how he came here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Kusa, and what his importance is to communicating what you want to the guys as well.
Yeah, John Kusiewski, whenever I was the offense coordinator at Western Kentucky, he was hired as our director of player personnel, and it didn't take me long to figure out that this dude knew football. And not only is he an unbelievable coach, one of the best coaches I've ever been around in my entire life, he's one of the best people ever, and he's one of my best friends. And so, me and him were a good yin and yang for each other. We're polar opposites, which is beautiful because my strengths are his weaknesses, and his strengths are my weaknesses. So he's important to everything I do, football and in life. Someone that I really cherish and value as a friend and as a coworker. And he met him at WKU. He came with me to Washington State, and thankful that he wanted to come to Oklahoma too.
Been about 4 months since you've been here.
Yes, sir.
What have you learned about Oklahoma football, either in general or specific to this team, that you didn't really know when you got here?
The expectations, not just from the fans, but from the players. It's not just the fans at OU. These players expect to win, and they bring that every single day. They bring it every day in the weight room, in the film room, out on the practice field. The expectations that everyone else has, they have for themselves, and that's the biggest thing that I've learned. And it's the biggest thing that I love. These kids bring it. These kids bring it, and they bring it every single day.
Coach, and considering all you've been, Western Kentucky, like you talked about, Houston Baptist, and Washington State, now you're at Oklahoma. How does it feel to say you're at Oklahoma?
It's an honor. It's an honor. Something that I'm really, really proud of. Something that is a credit to all the awesome players in the past and all that I've gotten to coach, and all the awesome coaches in the past that I've gotten to work for. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I owe a lot of credit to the people who have been around me in my career, and just really thankful for them.
How would you assess?
John talked about, that he thought he was pretty far along, but he thought he was at the point he could start learning what he called gadgets in the offense and things like that. So when you look at his progression from what you've had in 2 years so far, did you see some of that in the spring that he's progressed further?
Absolutely. The biggest thing that we always try to instill in the QB room is football IQ. And the biggest part of football IQ, one, is learning the offense, right? Well, John's been in it now for 2.5 years. 2.5 now. We're through spring ball. And so he knows what I'm thinking. He knows what I want on plays. And he understands whenever we may be in a bad situation on a play call. And he's able to ultimately put us in a better situation just from film study, experiences that he's had, whether playing games or going against Coach BV's defense in the spring. He's able to get us in a lot better situation. And so it just comes with time and constant football IQ.
Then how would you assess the offensive line in the spring? What's been like working for you?
Yeah, the offensive line, those kids, they've battled every single day. They've shown up to work every single day. They're intentional with their work, and they take a lot of pride in their work. That's one thing I love about big guys. They take a lot of pride in what they do, because they ain't gonna get a lot of love from, anyone. They could be the greatest offensive line in the history of football, and people, still get after them. It's just the nature of the position. But those guys feed off of it. They want to be good. They're intentional. They love the quarterbacks. They love being there for the quarterbacks. They love creating run lanes for the running backs. They love everything about the process. And that stems from Coach Biedenbow. He's intentional in his meetings. He's direct in his meetings, and that's a reflection of what the offensive line is. They're intentional and they're direct, because Coach Biedenbow's the man, and he's as sharp as they get. And we got a lot of really intelligent guys on that offensive line because of Coach Biedenbow.
There's been a lot made about Michael Fasusi, especially on the offensive line. How difficult is it for a true freshman to maybe pick up this offense and learn it and maybe play or start in this offense?
Mike is a unreal talent, and he's a great kid, and he's a highly intelligent kid. But the best asset that he has is that he's diligent. He's diligent in his study and his work. And where he was at practice 1 to where he is now, as far as seeing fronts, making calls, communicating with everyone. He's a million miles from where he was in practice 1, and he's gonna keep developing, keep getting better. That's the thing about the offensive line position. There's a lot of calls and stuff that go with it, so it's constant repetition, constant seeing the defense, and the more reps he gets, the better he's gonna be. And so, Big Mike, he's got an unbelievable future.
The tight end group just doesn't have a ton of returning production.
Yeah, the tight end group, I would say of any position group, they're the position group that has shown the most improvement over spring ball, right? From where they were on day 1 to where they are now. I'm pretty sure in the last 4 practices, we've thrown like 9 touchdowns to the tight ends, and not just wide open touchdowns. I'm talking aggressive contested catches. I'm talking they're on the line of scrimmage and we're running the football, and they're getting so much better with their hand placement, moving people, and they're all unreal kids. Like they're that's one of my favorite position meetings to go sit in, because Coach Finley's an unbelievable coach, and those are unbelievable kids in that room, and they're so fun to be around, and they've shown the most improvement.
Then how do you feel about your running backs so far this spring? Running back group, what you kind of seen out of those guys?
Seen a lot of really good things from them. They're dialed in pass protection. Coach Murray, he harps on pass protection with them, understanding where their eyes are supposed to be, who their certain pickup is. They're dialed in that. They've been able to run the ball downhill hard. We've done a lot of thud practices, so you don't always get to see exactly, does the running back make a miss there? We think he did. Who knows? But they've shown up every day, and they've done some great things out of the backfield. They've done some great things inside the box and pass protection. Great group of kids.
2 more questions.
We've seen a lot of quarterbacks have success in your offense, whether it's John or Cam or Austin.
How would you describe your approach to that position, your coaching style?
Yeah, the biggest thing about quarterbacks, you think of every great quarterback Oklahoma's had, and really any great quarterback of all time. The one thing that those guys have is elite confidence, right? And that's the number one thing you have to breed into a quarterback. You have to breathe that life into him of like, I am the baddest dude on this field, right? This is my team. This is my offense. This is my game. You have to breed that elite confidence in them, because the more that they believe in themselves, the more everybody around them is going to believe in them. And that's the biggest thing that you can train with the quarterback. And that's the biggest thing that I try to breathe into these guys every single day is elite confidence, because it pays dividends and it branches out to the rest of the team.
And not just with the quarterbacks, but you have an offense that struggled last year, guys returning that kind of got beat down a little bit, injuries. How much have you worked kind of on that mindset, that confidence with them, and how do you feel like you've come out of the spring with their mindset?
Every day we just attacked it with an aggressive mindset of, hey, whenever we're going against the defense, we're competing. They're not our friends. They're our teammates, they're our brothers. Whenever we're out there practicing, competing, they're not our friends. Okay, we're out there trying to get after it. We're trying to celebrate all little wins that we have. Okay, that's the biggest thing. Football's a hard game. Sometimes when you do something really, really good, some people just overlook it. We try to celebrate all those little small victories. Okay, and the more small victories that you have, ultimately the big victories show up. And that's the biggest thing that I've just been preaching with all these guys is be there for your teammates, celebrate all wins, and let's get after it.
Thank you, Ben. We got to keep moving. Appreciate it.